to share his experiences with you. So, without further ado, David Shams.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is H to the O-V. I used to move snowflakes by the O-Z. You can call me CEO of the ROC.
Check, check. Am I good? Turn me down. Check, check. Can y'all hear me? Check, check, check. Turn me up a little bit. Can y'all hear me? We good? Good. Good morning. Good morning. Please give Miss Charlie Garvin a round of applause, please. So I don't have much time, and I always prepare always over prepare my slides and presentations, so I'm going to run through them real quick, okay? If you have a phone, I want you to take notes, okay? I want you to take notes, and here's why. Not for me, but for you. Have you ever been at church, if you go to church, and it was a phenomenal sermon? You ever heard a phenomenal sermon? And then you get home and somebody asks you, hey, what was it about? And you're like, oh, it was amazing. You should have been there. And they ask you, well, what was it about? And what do you do? I remember how I felt, but I don't necessarily remember the information. But I do want you to remember the information now because I want you to write it down because I want you to not only hear it, but I want you to write it. So both of your senses are involved. The information sticks with you better if you hear it and then write it. But a third sense is also involved. You get to hear it, write it, and then you get to see what you wrote. So the same information hits you 3 times. Would it be valuable to take hold and keep valuable information? Would that be valuable? Good, but I want this thing to hit you 4 times. I want you to hear it, write it, see it, and then say it. So sometimes you can take some notes, and you can remember it better if you start to go over the notes if you find something valuable. If I don't say anything valuable, then that's my fault. But I'm not talking about just this presentation, but I want you to hold on to valuable information, okay? So I wanted to ask a question. Anybody know what it takes to succeed? Anybody know? Hard work, determination. Is that it? Dedication. Mental. Okay. Quality thoughts. So, does anybody want to be successful? Anybody want to? You'd be surprised. And somebody be like, yo, of course I want to be successful. But I was doing some research. There are certain people who don't want to reach a certain level of success simply because if you reach a level of success, that means people are expecting you to keep that status. And it's a lot harder to keep it than it is to get it. I'm telling you this. And there are some people know, how many people know if you really, really want hard at your goals, you can accomplish them? Hands down. How many people aren't going as hard as you think you need to be going? Why? Fear? Procrastination? So watch this. For those that are taking notes, your first note, I want you to study success. And I've studied success. I got a couple examples. This is a man by the name of Ray Kroc. Anybody ever heard of Ray Kroc? I feel like it'd be valuable if we study our story. And what you guys are missing, you guys have a right now, modern day, black Ray Kroc in this building. Did y'all see all the companies that she's involved in? That doesn't look like our leader is doing amazing things to me. To me, that looks like, wow, there's a lot of opportunities for me to grow with an amazing. So some people saw Martin Luther King marching and say, hey, I'm just going to be a part of the march. There are other people that say, hey, Martin, how do you get a group of people to walk right into the face of danger? What type of leadership is that? How many people feel like they're leaders? Some of you can lead your friends to the club, no problem, right? Some of you guys can lead your friends to a party, but this is what Martin Luther King did. He would get a group of people like this and say, hey, we about to march down this street. Okay? There are going to be cops down there. The cops are racist. They're going to beat us. There are dogs going to be sicked on us, fire hoses. People hate us. Some of us today are going to jail. Y'all ready? Let's march. And people got excited about that. Wouldn't it be interesting to study how he did that? That's called leadership. But let's study a few success stories. This is Mr. Ray Kroc. He was born in 1902. He participated in World War I as an ambulance driver. He worked at a restaurant for room and board from 1930 to 1947. He was a salesman for 17 years. He sold milkshake machines. And in 1955 became a franchise agent for his clients at McDonald's. So watch this. Let's look at the timeline. So from 1930 to 1947, he worked at a restaurant, then he sold milkshakes for 17 years. And then he became a franchisee of McDonald's. How did he become a franchisee for McDonald's? Do you think it had anything to do with him being a salesman for 17 years? So some people feel like they're not going to be successful. Imagine if he worked that job for 5 years as a salesman and said, this ain't my dream, I need to do something else. Then he did something else for 2 years, did something else for 3 years, did something else for 4 years. Do you think he'd be the person that he is today by sticking with it for 17 years? Here's what I know about a lot of people here. If we did this rally next year, a lot of you won't be here. I understand the law of large numbers. The majority of people quit everything they do. Some people in this very room have never kept a job past 2 years. I'm not talking about the job. Some of you need to stay where you are to learn yourself. Can you stay somewhere for 3 years? My story is I worked at the Cheesecake Factory. Cool story. I was cutting bread at the bread station. Anybody ever been in the Cheesecake Factory? Yeah, well, I was there for 6 years. But I was cutting bread at the bread station, and one of my friends said, hey, your birthday's coming up. Where do you want to celebrate your birthday? I said, well, I don't know. She said, let's go to the club we went to last year. I said, cool, no problem. She said, everybody's going to come out. Everybody had a good time last year. Let's go. I said, cool, let's do it. So she went and told everybody we're going to celebrate my birthday at the same club we went to last year. But there was a problem. You ever seen one of those movies where, like, you see the scene, but then there's one character where everything gets dark and the light is on the character, and then they play the soft music? That's how I felt, in a very reflective mindset. I'm like, goodness gracious, I'm about to celebrate my birthday with the same people I celebrated with last year, which there's no problem. Celebrating my birthday with the same people in the same places last year, no problem. The problem is, I took my tips home, and I went to the bank, I put my money in the bank, and I got a receipt out, and the receipt shows the balance. And I realized my balance was about the same as it was last year. I was driving the same car as I was driving last year. I went to the same apartment as I went last year. Do you know I had to buy new clothes to celebrate my birthday? Why? My closet looked exactly the same for 12 months, meaning I was in the exact same place for 12 months straight. Nothing's changed but my age. It's a problem. It's the day I woke up. How many people need to wake up? The same thing every single year, and that was the day. That was the day after we went to the club, like that thing just stuck with me. And I told myself I would not celebrate my birthday until I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I don't care how long it takes, because I realized I was celebrating being in the same place year after year, just closer to death. Every single year. What am I celebrating? Now, even to this day, I do not celebrate my birthday. I celebrate accomplishments. If I accomplish something over 12 months, celebration. If not, I got work to do. It's just another day. Okay. He stayed there for 17 years selling milkshakes, became a franchise agent with his client McDonald's. In 1955, he bought the McDonald's franchise. He died with an estimated $500 million net worth. But watch this. From 1902, when he's born, to 1955, when he became a franchisee, that's 53 years. It didn't happen for him until he was 53. Some of you feel, I'm 30, it's not working. I'm 40, it's not working. Let's find somebody else. Walt Disney, in 1901, he was born. He began drawing and selling pictures to his neighbors. Between 1906 and 1911, he took night classes at Chicago Academy for Fine Arts. Watch this, for 17 years doing the same thing. It was all about art. It was all about art. How many people have a dream, but it's changed about 4 times over the last decade? My man stuck to it 17 years. Remember Ray Kroc sold milkshakes 17 years. There's something about time that's going to dictate your success. I'm just studying. I'm just studying success. If you want to be successful, study success. Make sense? He became an ambulance driver in World War I around the same time That's Ray Kroc. That's interesting. Networks. Okay. Working at the Kansas City Film Ad Company, making animations, more network, more art. 1921, opened a studio. 1923, declares bankruptcy. He tried it. It didn't work. But 1923, Mickey Mouse was created. Say it takes time. Say it takes time. Say it takes time. One more. Oprah. Watch this. Do you know? That's my girl, too. You're like, what are all these men doing? She was born in 1954. Watch this. Watch this. Y'all know she's one of the wealthiest people in the world, right? She was raped multiple times during her childhood. She got pregnant at 14, and her son died at infancy. She ran away to her father's house. This is the first 19 years of her life. Did we know that? She had a hard road. I know things are tough for you right now. I understand, but it's a part of your story. You ever thought to sell your problems? How much would you charge for your problems? Watch this. Watch this. It's so amazing. How many people have, like, if you had a store, like if Spike Lee came to you and said, hey, we're going to write a movie on your life, it'd be a bestseller. So what I did was I wrote a book called Dreams Are Built Overnight, talking about how I went from working at the Cheesecake Factory problems to living my dream of being a full-time entrepreneur. I wrote down everything it took, all my problems, and now I sell all my problems $20 a piece. How many people ever thought to write down your problems in a book in story form and sell your problems? We're almost done. 1917, she co-anchored the 6 o'clock news in Baltimore, right, in 1976. Then she moved to co-anchor a year later. Then she moved to Chicago. So from 1954, and we'll just scroll down to 1985, where she starred in Color Purple, where everything happened for her. 1954 to 1945, 41 years. How long does it take? How many people quit something after a year? Okay. How many people quit something after 6 months? You tried it for 6 months, it just didn't work out. Also, I'm the only one. Does that include relationships? Here's what I understand. Here's what I understand. How you do anything is how you do everything. So if I looked at your resume, you stayed at a job for 10 months, you quit. You stayed at a job for 6 months, you quit. Stayed at a job for a year and quit. I can get an idea of what your relationships look like. I can get an idea of how you do anything is how you do everything. I can see the signs. But those that stick and stay and stick and stay, listen, remember this. Successful people, one of my mentors told me, he said, successful people are quick to make decisions and slow to turn away from those decisions. Successful people are quick to make decisions, but they're real slow to turn away from them. It takes a while for them to get off that idea. Unsuccessful people are slow to make decisions. It takes them forever to make decisions, but they're quick to turn back. I just want to go through this real quick, and then it's just pure success from there. But I want to show you how success is easy. How to succeed with ease. I'm going to give you some points real quick, and I'm going to let you go, okay? How to succeed with ease. There's 4 E's. Your environment. Pull out your phone real quick. Pull out your phone real quick. I want you to look at your call log. I want you to look at your call log, take a quick look at your call log, notice the people in your call log. Go to your text messages, notice the people in your text messages. If I took a look at your call log and your text messages, I can get a pretty good idea of what your bank account looks like. If I took a look at your call log, I'm telling you, if I took a look at your call log, I can get a pretty good idea of what your bank account looks like. So real quick, just no judgment. Anybody see a problem? Anybody notice a problem? Yeah. Are we around success? Okay. So if you look at my call log right now, you'll see business, entrepreneurs. It's not going to be a whole lot of gossip. It's not going to be a whole lot of back and forth with unsuccessful people. Your environment will change you before you change it. Here's what I mean. You've heard this before, if you hang around 4 successful people, you're bound to be the 5th. If you hang around 4 failures, you're bound to be the 5th. But this is true. When I played basketball, for some reason, all my friends played basketball. It's not like I played basketball and I picked my friends to play basketball. It just seems like that was the case. When I was making about $30,000 a year, all of my friends that I was around made around that, not too far off. When I wrote a book, for some reason, I look up, I'm like, yo, why are all my friends authors? When I became an entrepreneur, all my friends are entrepreneurs. It's not like I'm shunning my friends that aren't entrepreneurs. It is what it is. Do you know that the polar bear used to be a brown bear until he wandered into an environment where it was cold and he had to adapt? I don't care how much of a leader you are. Your environment will change you before you change it. So if you want to be successful, you got to get around what? Even if you don't gossip, hang around some gossipers long enough. Be like, yes, I did see him. He was at the airport acting up. I'm telling you, your environment will change you before you change it. So if you want to change things in your life, just change your environment. Number 2, emotional control. How many people made some bad decisions out of emotion? I'm telling you, these are the factors that will impact your success, okay? Evolution. How fast are you evolving? Are you in the same place last year as you are this year? No. I want you to continue to keep that track going. Keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. Last year, everyday activities. Look at your schedule. Look at your schedule. Every day you need to be moving towards success, okay? I wish I had more time, and I'm sorry I had to go through it. But I want to say you guys have an amazing opportunity here, and all I'm asking you to do is challenge yourself. You can learn so much from your job. The only reason I'm a successful entrepreneur now is because I stayed at the Cheesecake Factory for 6 years working on myself. When somebody got me mad, I was working on my emotional control. I didn't quit the job because somebody made me mad. I'm like, okay, how can I fight this? How can I get to a point where I can control my emotions? I mean, I worked on all these things at the Cheesecake Factory. You can do the same here. Thank you.